all we can ask for in most aspects of our life is just to feel hot. That's my thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
My thing is mumbling. Okay, well, but like, give me something. Like, what are we trying to capture right now? Because the tangent could be anything. We can talk about anything for hours.
You said the other day that you've never been in love.
Okay.
But do you feel love?
You said, do I feel loved?
Yeah, do you feel loved?
Do I feel loved? Well, I know that I am loved, but to remember that and to openly accept it, that's not as consistent. Like, my brain knows, my heart doesn't. Or my heart knows and my brain doesn't. And it's just difficult to get them to line up in that.
Kind of mesh?
Yeah.
How come you've never been in love? You just... relationships?
Yeah, I feel like the reason that I haven't really, like, fallen in love is basically just, like, longevity. Like, nothing's lasted long enough to really feel the fall. It's like a stumble. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm standing back up. But, yeah, I don't think I've ever fallen, like, flat on my face in love.
Has it just not been, like, people interesting enough?
I think that I'm either just not in the mood and I'm not allowing myself to, or just, yeah, people don't act right. I have such, like, a huge idea of love. I used to read a bunch of, sappy romances and watch all the movies where people are just so, like, oh, this is all that I have going on in my entire life is just making sure this one person knows that I'm, like, so unbelievably, like, obsessed with them and enamored by them. So, in this world, I don't think that that's very realistic.
Understandable.
But I'm not, like, out of hope,
Well, like, okay, so what does love mean to you then?
Taking the time to think about someone. The more you think about someone, the more you love them in my head. But, yeah.
It's always weird, like, people's definition, But I think a lot of people, like, they think they are in love, but... Or, like, they love someone and the breakup happens. Mm-hmm. And people really dwell on the breakup.
Yeah.
Because, like, that pain of, like, heartbreak gets really addicting to a lot of people.
I think it's when love turns into fear. Because the only two feelings that are, like, the root of all feelings are love and fear. Like, those are the two sides. So it's, like, when that deep love, when that, like, super powerful love switches over to fear, and you now fear the feeling that you should be trying to grasp and keep close to you, when you fear connection, that's when everything just gets turned upside down.
So, let's see, what other questions we have? What is it that you, like, what's like the 5-year plan? What's the short term, long term?
Well, I hope that I sell a painting for $10K, and I want to put on a huge art show, and I hope that I'm able to make connections with people so they actually come. So I just have a fear that I'm going to do something and then no one's going to show up.
What's your social life been like lately since...
Well, I live alone, so
well,
that's your question.
But, like, what about you? Like, what do you like doing? Do you go to the club? Do you go to bars, lounges?
I'll go sometimes if there's a reason to, or if my friends want to go, then I'll, like, get in the mood and I'll get dressed up and I'm like, okay, here we go, time to be a spectacle to the world. And other times I sit in my room and I either paint or I can show you some of my paintings too. You want to see?
I want to see them. So tell me about the paintings. What makes you want to paint?
Okay, well, it's actually cool because the paintings that I'm working on right now are like a smaller version of what I want to do with like a huge exhibition, and it's basically every interpretation of like the face, like facial expressions and like the human face that I'm not able to make my face into. So I'll give you an example. Hold on. Also, the whole vibe is that I'm not wearing pants, so just, that's the whole vibe, okay? I'll give a few examples. So, I'll tell you each facial expression that I'm not able to make with my own face and why the painting expresses that. So sometimes I go mute and I can't speak for hours because I get really socially anxious, and that would be this face because there's no mouth.
Okay, yeah. Dig that.
So this is something I can't like express because I can't take the mouth off my face. She's just there. And then this one, so I get really upset, but I have to pretend that I'm not upset, so it is a smile
Yeah, those are actually really good. I like that.
It's a smile, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's not a real smile. I'm faking it. This one is my latest one. This is one of my favorites, and I think it's probably my favorite. Even less that one, because I like that one too. This one is basically when I'm really high in public and no one knows, but they actually do know because I'm not discreet whatsoever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
So there's like my eyes and my mouth, because I feel like my entire face is like giving everyone exactly what I'm thinking. So they can see a lot of me, so I tried to like make a lot of eyes to like make it seem like I'm seeing them too. And then this one is the first one that I ever finished, and this is what it feels like being in public.
I like
and having
that.
everyone look at me all the time. But with that being said, I also love to be looked at, so it's like not a sad thing. It's just like that was like the darkest part of it, and then I'm gonna have to make like a whole other spectrum of like how great it feels, because we as humans love attention. We love pleasure, and it feels good to be looked at and to be sought after.
So
like,
run me through the thought process of when you shaved your head.
When I shaved my head, I was in a really, really dark place in my life, and it was basically an act of like defiance towards myself, and it was a punishment, and it felt like really sad during the time, and I made my dad do it because I couldn't do it. I basically just like took the reins away from myself, and yeah. So it started out to be really sad, but then it was, a learning experience, and I learned from it, I realized that I still look good with a shaved head, so whatever.
The double-edged sword.
Exactly, like it was still a good look.
So would you say that you're in a better place now?
I don't know. I feel like overall, yes. Like I've grown as a person, and my brain's developed a little bit more, so I have perspective and insight, and I can reflect and understand reasoning behind things that I didn't understand before. With that comes a lot of grief and personal resentment. So as much as I do feel better, I also feel like I'm a little bit more mad at myself, which is sad. But I feel like with age, that's just going to come to an end.
So
Hopefully.
do you think it's like you have to forgive yourself or something?
Yeah. I think I have to forgive myself for like everything. I just have to like go through an entire spree of being like, this happened and I have to be okay with it. Because that's the only option. You can't, what's the other option? It's hard. It's hard to let things go.
When do you feel the prettiest? Or when do you feel like your most self?
I think that I'm probably the most myself when I'm with my best friends, because especially like Isabel, because I've known her the longest, and like she's just been through every single stage of my life, so I feel like with her she's just been through it all. Like she already knows all of like the lore and like all of like the storyline of like why I am the way that I am, so she has a lot of understanding, and she also just like appreciates me so much for things that like other people don't appreciate me for. Like she always says that I have all the answers, and that is just like like you trust me to make decisions. Like even I don't do that. So I think that I'm definitely most myself like when I'm with people that show me what I wish I could show me.